whoa, 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 put on the brakes, put on the brakes. Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, pufties, bung-eyed effers, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom.
We're all inclusive.
To another version of It's News to Us. And you are watching It's News to Us, where Newport's oldest TV news watches now. That's right, it's going to be 10 years next month. We had adult themes and adult language, so you're advised. It's mostly G-rated, don't worry about it. Mostly adult themes. But where are the Bronze Age visible sky guards going to beat you and forgive you and beat you and forgive you, just like in the old testicle? And we're all inclusive here.
Testicles, there's one now.
Yeah. And we cater to men, women, men who think they're women who think they're men who dress like women who... And also brought to you by the Mega Dairy Welfare Bums. What's this one? Oh yeah, here we are. Mega Dairy Welfare Bums and Slave Driving Polluters of Vermont. That's right. Support your local push buckets. And NATO. That's right. Nazi American Treason and Occults Organization. Yeah, these guys, they were actually expelled from France in the 60s by de Gaulle. And because they tried to overthrow him, go figure. And if you're bad all the time, ask your doctor about chucks for woodchucks and chuckettes. Heel, kneel, brown, kill. Okay, oh man. Where do we begin? Oh, they got a new editor at the Free Press, right?
Uh-huh.
So I had to let this guy have it. It's just, I can't take this tranny crap anymore. And I wish I'd brought the damn email. But anyways, here's the we had last week we told you, we went through 2 articles, 2 days running they had, on little kids, mind you, who her parents were shoving into surgery, or they're being shoved into surgery for transgenderism. Now, mind you, it's an elective surgery that you can't take back. You just can't cut something off and add something, and it's just, no, it's not interchangeable like that. So anyways.
It's not like parts of a car.
Yeah, it's not like changing an oil filter. And so anyways, this guy here, well, it's a guy, I guess. I can't imagine what it looked like when it was a woman. Isaac Fornarola. Dear reader, we want to keep, and in some cases earn your trust. Part of this work depends on identifying openings. Identifying openings.
I'm sitting on one now.
Yeah, really. To explain who we are and how we go about our work. The publication of 2 stories that explore the issue of gender confirmation surgeries for young people offers one such opportunity. And I told him, I says, look, if hetero people talk to young kids about sex,
That's them in jail.
They'd go to jail, exactly. They'd be arrested, and they should be. Oh, and speaking of which, I know you haven't been paying attention with the news, but did you hear about that tranny in British Columbia that waltzed into a beauty store and wanted his private's wax philo?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, well, he identifies as a woman. He goes into this store and wants a Brazilian wax, and the woman's all like, I'm not going to wax that thing. You're a guy. Get out of here. I'm not going near that thing. I'm not going to wax your bag. So go somewhere else. Well, didn't he take it to the government? Of course, they don't have a First Amendment. They don't have very many protections in Canada like we do here, right? Including the religious liberty laws. And thank God we have those. I'm not a religious person, but there's got to be a stop to this somewhere, or at least a coaster break, But no, in Canada, so he sues the company, and the woman had to go out of business. She had to close up shop, Philo, because she wouldn't wax a guy's private parts. And now we find out that this female has been going into girls' locker rooms and asking little girls about their periods and stuff like that.
Maybe he wants one.
Exactly. And then...
maybe it's more like a question mark.
Yeah. Question mark and the Mysterians.
Yeah, more than likely.
And then we find supposedly this tranny also had pool parties for underage girls, and it's just nuts, Philo. It's nuts. So, anyways, back to the USA and
Back
this
to
guy.
the USSR.
Yeah. When I joined the Free Press team in July, executive editor Emily Stigliani asked if I'd be interested in editing the stories. We worked together to vet the information we published, and I says, why are you bothering publishing a story about an elective surgery that involves mental health and affects a population roughly the same size of the population as there is albinos? You know what I mean? It's under 1/10 of 1% or something. To make sure our stories included the perspectives of stakeholders. Yeah. Well, I used to have a post hole, but now I got a stake, so I'm a stakeholder, right, Philo? God almighty. We received a great deal of public feedback, including questions about my gender identity. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. And how can we gauge that? I said, look, you don't even publish letters to the editor anymore. You haven't done that in like 4 or 5 years now.
They don't want to hear from you.
I didn't want to hear from anybody.
No, I haven't bought that rag in years, and it is a rag.
I told him, I said, look, if this keeps up, I'm going to go to a traditional paper where that has day in court and stuff like that, like the Orleans Record. I mean, even though they cover New Hampshire and a lot of stuff in northern New Hampshire, they do cover Newport and stuff like that, and national news and international news, not this crap. And they have letters to the editor and stuff. And so it says, about my gender identity, let's talk about how our identities as journalists, whether in terms of gender, race, sex, or country of origin, interact with the stories we cover. I said, your race, gender, whatever, it shouldn't interact with the stories you cover. The stories you cover should just include facts. I said, what happened to who, what, when, where, and how? I said, what about that? Don't they teach that in journalism school anymore, Bunky?
Evidently not in Burlington.
Oh, man. Should an editor's identity preclude them from steering coverage objectively? As a transgender editor, it is important to me to make clear that I am a journalist first. I believe that journalism is both a science and a trade. Yeah, oh, please. It's neither, okay? You're a stenographer who throw in your opinions and give us a bunch of irrelevant crap that doesn't mean anything or have any meaning to the average person's daily life. Oh, God. Challenging assumptions, balancing our stories, and engaging with our readers is a learned skill set. Engaging with our readers. This is newspeak. What does this even mean? Engaging with our readers. Well, you know what, Bunky? You haven't engaged with me. You haven't even sent me a reply yet, you puke. Because you don't have one.
We don't want to do that.
Oh, no. We temper our opinions in the service of truth. And I was drawn to the field because I'm dedicated to the truth. My job as editor is to ensure accuracy, and my agenda is to provide you with reliable information. You shouldn't have an agenda. You have a job, and you're not doing your job. As long as there's no legitimate conflict of interest in which a journalist's loyalty to person or group supersedes their loyalty to you, the reader, a journalist's connection to an issue can enrich coverage, according to Joy Mayer, an Irishman, the director of the Trusting News Project that studies mistrust in journalism. Oh, yeah. Studies mistrust in journalism. Well, let's take a look at mistrust in journalism. Why would people mistrust journalism? They've only been lying to us since November 22nd, 1963, when they said Kennedy was killed by a lone bullet. Oh, God, the Tonkin Gulf incident, going into Vietnam. Watergate, good grief, man. The CIA, the Iran-Contra, the Bosnian wars. 9/11, Saddam's weapons of mass destruction, and now this stupid Russia hoax that they pushed for 2 years, and it's starting to point back at these rump swabs who tried to overthrow a sitting candidate and then overthrow a sitting president. Ooh, that's going to come back to bite them right in the butt, mister.
Let's not forget the kill ratio we had in Vietnam.
Oh, every day, remember?
After a while, it dawned on me that this was kind of strange that we were killing so many of them, but it kept going and kept going and kept going. And even Schwarzkopf later said, I was told to falsify those records when he was a colonel.
Oh, yeah. Colin Powell. And it's like, what the hell, man? How many Viet Cong are there? Millions. Here we are. If a reporter grew up on a farm, is an immigrant, is a parent, all those factors make him, especially him. You're supposed to be gender neutral. I want my pronouns to be je and jem. You better talk like and respect my pronouns, mister, or I'll report you. All those factors make him especially qualified to cover those issues, Mayor wrote, and he'll, again with a gender pronoun, Philo, and he'll count on his colleagues to provide a counterbalance to his natural perspective if necessary. Diversity is in the Free Press newsroom is an asset, not a hindrance to objective coverage. I said diversity shouldn't matter to squat. Nobody cares anymore about who you are, where you come from. That's great. That's for after work. You want to talk shop and yuck it up. I mean, somebody asked you, hey, that's an interesting last name you got. Where were your people from? But no, shouldn't come through in the news you're covering. It's not even relevant, bunkie. Oh, man. Personal experience contributes to what we know about the world. Oh, yeah, you got a lot of personal experiences up. You're like, oh, yeah. A diverse newsroom that reflects the communities we cover is an imperative to getting it right. I am profoundly grateful to your readers for entrusting us with that task. Yours, Isaac. Oh, follow him on Twitter. Oh, he's got a Twitter handle, Philo.
Oh, good heavens.
Email him at ifornarola@freepressmedia.com. And I did, and I'm not getting anything back. Diversity, this diversity, our motto, and start with the Statue of Liberty. Do you know why we were given that statue, Philo?
Because the French built it backwards?
Close.
It was supposed to be, the other hand was supposed to be up, no? Oh,
Yeah.
well, never mind. Go ahead.
The French, they gave us a statue to celebrate the fact that we had abolished slavery. And it cost us over 1 million lives doing that on both sides, and death and disease and civilians and everything. And that stupid-ass poem written by some Hebrew immigrant, that poem that they attached to the Statue of Liberty wasn't even attached to the damn statue until 17 years after it had been erected. But we had listened to the Statue of Liberty, we got to let in everybody.
And for a Frenchman, that's a long erection.
It took a long time to erect that.
Yes, well.
Oh, and here we are.
Moving right along, folks.
Yeah, let's stick with some local. We're going to stick with local news this week, okay? Here we are.
You should have seen the Barton meeting last night.
Yeah?
The Barton meeting was so good, V.T. Digger called up and wants a copy of it.
Why? Was there fisticuffs involved?
No, but it seemed, I don't know the whole story, but I guess from what I've heard, one of the board members, the select board members, resigned but didn't tell anybody, but the papers knew about it. And then when they came to the meeting, they were asking the board members about the guy that resigned, and they said, geez, nobody told us. So anyways, I get a call from V.T. Digger, and they want a copy of it. So we said, sure. We got the footage. We're going to put it on the air. We'll give it to you in Dropbox.
Oh,
whatever in heck that was all about beats me. But
Yeah.
even our Newport City Council isn't that bad.
Oh,
They started the meeting an hour late.
Jesus.
They drove around town because nobody showed up. And finally, when people showed up, oh, let's have a meeting now.
Typical. Yeah, let's see if we can avoid the press, right, Philo?
Well, I don't know what the story was. But like I said, Newport City Council, whether you like them or not, is at least punctual. It's on time. It's on schedule. It does what it's supposed to.
Again, they have laws for that, but there's no enforcement.
Nope.
Just like these jackasses in North Troy. We got a selectman, Robert, the hard worker Langlands. Every time they mention his name, oh, he's a hard worker. Oh, he's a hard worker. Every time it's like billionaire Weinstein or Epstein or Pepstein, whatever is it. It's like billionaire's his first name. Well, this guy's middle name is hard worker. And he's a selectman, and he owes like $3 or $4 grand in back water and sewer bills. And he can't pay them. They don't attach anybody's houses. And yet he just bought another slum on friggin' Railroad Street. Cash, I'm assuming, because nobody would give you a mortgage in North Troy unless they're crazy. And yet his water bills goes unpaid. And then, lucky for you here in Newport, Officer Perjury quit, Philo. I guess he's working for Lamoille or something, the sheriff's department down there. I mean, they should have fired his lame butt when he lied under oath years ago. But oh no, you know. And how much money does he owe? He owes like almost $1 grand or something in back water and sewer. He's chairman of the trustees. Did he get a shut-off notice? Well, I'm going to have to go down and ask for the delinquent accounts and ask who got shut-off notices. And if he didn't get a shut-off notice, man, we're gonna push him on it on the meeting on the 27th next week. But anyways, here we are. Here's more money out of our pockets to give to old lady Darby for a friggin' swamp that she bought, I don't know, 40 years ago for next to nothing and put in a damn marina, and it's going to cost $500,000 from out of our pockets and into hers, Philo, for some swamp. It's great. We got the money, right? Yeah, let's see. Pam Darby's mom, Catherine Bowler, now 84, moved her young family from Baltimore to this boggy part of Burlington. The property was an island full of trees, remembers her daughter, Pam Darby. I wonder if that's Heather Darby's sister, the one who is a permanent fixture at UVM and makes excuses for all these damn slave dairy pus buckets. You know, these people, the people that bring you pus. Because remember, in every gallon of milk or any other dairy product, they have this thing called the SCC, the somatic cell count, which is an allowable level of pus. Look it up. Don't trust me. I ain't lying. That's why I got that gut pus thing out there for 10 years, because you're drinking pus. The family, including young Pam, pitched in to build a causeway with leftover concrete from a nearby wastewater treatment plant, gravel, and logs. Oh, okay, filling in a wetland. See, that was okay back then. Other day-filling jobs soon replaced. There was forever something to do. As an adult, her mom stuck it out until the record high lake flooding in 2011. Catherine Bowler moved into a mobile home that spring after evacuation and vowed to return to the marina. So she did. Yeah. Oh, this is about giving back. That was my theory all along. It was an act of nature. God put it there. God can take it away. Yeah, God dumped it there. God can take it away, but it's coming out of our pockets to pay for your lame ass. It's insane.
Besides, who made her God?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's what I want to know. Who do you think you are, God?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and God sending around the collection plate, Philo, and if you want this piece of swamp, mister, you'd better pay up. The marina's had its run. Everybody's dream was fulfilled. Ooh, yeah, I got rich for buying a piece of property for about 10 cents an acre 40 years ago and just squeezed $500,000 out of you saps, like you and you and you and you over there asleep on the couch. Yeah, we're all paying for this. The silty inlet has been renamed Durway Cove in honor of the long old-term farmer. It will remain for perpetuity in the Winooski Park District's mosaic of 18 conserved, publicly accessible lands set aside for recreation, as well as improving wildlife habitat and water quality. Well, you know, why didn't you just give it to the state, honey, and take the tax break? Oh, right, because you're living in a mobile home and you want to live in a friggin' palace somewhere. For $500,000 in Vermont, you could buy a nice chunk of friggin' property. What's it worth? The Valley Park District acquired the marina property for $355,000, paid in roughly equal amounts by the Vermont Housing and Conservation Board and the Burlington Conservation Legacy Program. $355,000. You think you were buying, it's Vermont Conservation and Housing Board. We have homeless people on the streets in Burlington. You think you'd build some low-income housing for them, maybe? Oh, no. We're going to give it to some connected puke for friggin', that's nuts. Here we are. Another $100,000 was needed to cover demolition, site restoration, and other work. So now we're up to $455,000. Most of those funds came from the FEMA via Vermont Emergency Management, $47,000, and the Vermont Community Foundation's Lake Champlain and Tributaries Restoration Fund, another $38,500. About $14,000 is still needed to firm up the property's transition to a low-key waterside park. What's a low-key waterside park? What does that even mean, Philo?
That means you have a slide near a park, near the water.
Yeah, and you need a key to get in, right?
Oh, okay, I forgot that part. All right. Extra 10 cents for the key.
Low-key. It's a low-key waterside park.
Hey, here's a low key right here.
Without the motorboat traffic, Derway Cove is now one of the few reliably quiet parts of Burlington. Oh, lovely. Oh, yeah. Bogut. Oh, the heron's name is Grace. They even named the heron, Philo.
Wow.
It's going to be a birdwatcher's paradise, said Chris Bogut, executive director of the Lake Champlain Land Trust, the nonprofit that orchestrated the preservation and restoration and Chingqua to the old lady Darby. You'll see more of everything up and down the food chain. Bogut hopes that other landowners consider restoring their more fragile parcels back to a balance with nature. This isn't development, it's de-development, and we'll take our cues from nature. Yeah, and cash that we milked out of you suckers. Suckers. You just paid some old lady for a chunk of swamp that she can't develop anyways because it's a wetland and she'd never get the permits to do anything to it. You jackasses. Oh, and here we go. This is another thing I wrote to Tranny Fanny about. I said, what the hell? I said, all you have are restaurant openings and closings. Here's another one. Hen of the Wood closing its doors indefinitely, Philo. Another one bites the dust. Why? Why are all these restaurants closing in Burlington, the richest city in the state, Philo? Because
Might be pollution, or there's too many of them.
Yeah, or did drunk insurance for the bar room, right?
Well, but weren't they having a pollution problem with all the breweries?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's just spilling over into the whole thing, huh?
Anyways, this restaurant, what happens is there's no money, man. You got a bunch of homeless people hanging around downtown, so it's like every major city everywhere. You're going to have to kick the homeless out of the way to get into someplace. Your chances of stepping in a pile of human crap or syringes grows daily exponentially. It's just not. Oh, sure. I said, so all you've got is restaurant. They even had one of these damn articles in here. I said to the guy, I'm like, what the hell, man? How to make a sandwich? That is your damn, that's an article that's relevant these days? How to make a sandwich, restaurant openings and closings. Fantastic. Here we are. Oh, and data from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s plane crash. Tennessee, Knoxville, Philo, they're going to sell alcoholic beverages at the home football games.
Oh, that's great. That's just what you need.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, my buddy lived in Knoxville, and we went to the UT Inn, right? And we went there one morning for Bloody Marys. This was when I used to drink. And man, they gave you a Bloody Mary, Philo, it was bigger than this glass, and it was 2 for 1. 2 for 1. And then, when you got up to leave, if you didn't finish your drink, guess what you got?
What's that?
A Go Cup.
Wow.
They gave you a big plastic cup with a cap and a straw to take your drink home with you.
And drive on the road with it.
Sure.
Just like they have in New Hampshire. You can get off the interstate highway and go buy your booze and get right back on again.
Easy freeway access.
Exactly. Only in New Hampshire.
11 Cleveland high school football players were victims of hazing at a camp in June, including 4 who were sexually assaulted. Ooh, ooh, ooh! Authorities say the assaults happened at Berea Mid-Park High School football camp at Case Western University in Cleveland. An 18-year-old was indicted as an adult on charges including rape, sexual battery, kidnapping, hazing, unlawful restraint, evidence tampering, and obstructing justice. 2 17-year-old boys were charged as juveniles with rape, sexual battery, hazing, and unlawful restraint, and a 15-year-old charged with hazing and unlawful restraint. 4 players were sexually assaulted, including 1 player who was raped. Yeah.
What a team.
Makes me want to be a jock, Philo.
Oh boy, what a team. How to team build, I'm telling you guys.
Yeah.
And the women over in upstate New York, they had a similar incidences before, you know. The women's college teams, there was a few of them up there.
Great. You go to a football camp. You think you're going to just learn something and hang around with some other jocks, and you wind up getting pooped with broomsticks.
Nice guys.
And here we are. You're going to love this one. Dear Scabby.
Ah, I love her.
Oh, man. It's about booze, dude. It's everywhere. The booze is everywhere, dude. And,
So what does Scabby say about that?
oh, you're going to love this. Dear Scabby, I'm a 30-year-old man, recently suffered from a minor ulcer. Because of this, I cut down on a lot of things I once loved so it wouldn't be as painful. Spicy foods, coffee, red meat, soda, and alcohol. I've been surprised over the last month or so how easy it's been for me to follow this new diet. However, by cutting out alcohol, I was also seen to be cutting out a lot of activities I used to enjoy.
Yeah, like getting drunk.
Yeah, I'm known in my friend group as a beer snob, and for my birthday, a bunch of them wanted to take me to a favorite brewery. I also had plans for my girlfriend I'm seeing to go on a wine tasting trip. They understand about my stomach issues and are open to rescheduling these events. A few have made jokes about I'm no fun anymore and how they can wait for me, or they can't wait for me to get back to normal.
Oh, TFB.
Back to normal. Okay. What do you mean back to normal? You mean back to drunk normal, Philo?
I don't know how many people invite me to go to bars and I just say, why? I don't have any interest in this. You know? I don't have any interest in watching you or anybody else drink themselves.
And get hammered.
Or even if they don't get hammered, I still am not interested in watching you drink.
Yeah. However, I'm not sure that I want to drink again.
Hey, a voice of reason.
Yeah, you think? After a couple weeks without alcohol, I find that I don't need or want it. However, drinking is so ingrained in my social circle, I don't know what else to do with my friends.
Oh my gosh.
Annie, how do I cut out alcohol without cutting out my friends?
Some friends you got there, buddy.
Yeah, alcohol is indeed ingrained in our society. When it comes to planning social activity, most adults have a hard time thinking outside the bottle.
Now that's a good one.
Help jog their imaginations. Take a lead on planning creative outings such as hiking, sports, daytime picnics, movie nights. Some of your friends might want to drink. That's fine too. The point is the whole activity doesn't center around drinking. And be upfront with them. Let them know you've noticed you feel better when you're not drinking and you decided to keep it up. Or not keep it up, is whatever it may be.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if some friends find a change of pace inspiring and decide to cut back on their drinking too.
But don't count on it.
Yeah, especially if they've been doing it for a while. And speaking of the statue, here it is. The writer's statue poem embraces all. Well, again, it's just a poem, and it's just attached to a statue that had nothing to do with immigration. It was a statue that celebrated the end of slavery. Hello, okay? Get with the program. And as usual, it's always at the end of the article, Philo. Let's see. The immigrant argued that the poem is not actually part of the original statue because it wasn't inscribed on the base till 1903, 17 years after the statue was unveiled.
Well, it's
let's
French,
see.
what do you expect?
Yeah. The statue was conceived by a Frenchman as a gift to the U.S. for abolishing slavery in 1865. But people of color have long struggled with whether the statue's promise included them. The Cleveland Gazette, a black newspaper, editorialized in 1886, a time of state-sanctioned racial bias, that the torch shouldn't be lighted until this country becomes a free one in reality. Again, it just sounds like the Negroes were whining since day one, man. Well, this was 1886. This is 20 years after the damn Civil War. Yeah, some people just they can't be pleased, Philo.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I know you still got Southerners fighting that Civil War, still.
yeah. Nervine Owida left Egypt in 2012, sought asylum in the U.S., and now is a citizen who lives outside Houston. She said she understood why the government wants to limit protections for people who use welfare and public benefits, though she supported providing help to refugees and asylum seekers who need it. Liberty means that you still need to have some rules to protect your own country, she said, making rules about who goes in, who comes out. This is not against liberty. This is protecting the people who are living here. Good going, honey. This is a woman who came here leaving tyranny in an Arab country. And even she gets it, Philo. But oh no, we can't have that. 26 arrested for blocking road at Vermont Gimme Grunt protest. And look, the women are wearing hijabs, Philo.
Didn't somebody recently, or was it some college that wanted to have all of the women at this college wear a burqa for one day or some stupid thing like that?
Yeah, a lot of them won't do it.
Well, who in their right mind would?
It's a symbol of oppression.
Of course it is.
And speaking of which, I told you people, my lefty friends think my righty friends think I'm a lefty, my lefty friends think I'm a Nazi. But anyways, just to show you people, there's my address on the bottom. I do get the Nation magazine, okay? I get Rolling Stone on the left, I get Nation on the left, yet on the interweb I'll go to Breitbart and I'll check out right-wing sites too, because the truth usually lies somewhere in the middle. But anyways.
Or there is none anyway.
Yeah, or there's no basis of it at all. But anyways, here's a good one. It's called Boris and Me.
Oh, Boris Yeltsin, all right.
No, the other one.
Oh, Boris Badenov.
Boris Johnson.
Oh.
Or Boris Johnson, the Ukrainian porn star.
That was Boris Badenov.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess she interviewed him, Philo, way back when. Let's see, it doesn't say. Oh, yeah, she interviewed him in 1997. Way back when. A lot has happened to Boris since then. He went on to become the mayor of London twice, then foreign minister, and is now prime minister. He's continued to entertain the world with his signature gross mots. To him, the entire continent and Africa is that country. Well, it pretty much sums it up. Show me one country that gets it right, and that was South Africa, and even they're toast now. And gay men are tank-topped bum boys. Okay then, excuse me.
Cigarette, please.
Tank-top bum boys. Black people are pickaninnies with watermelon smiles. Women figure as blubbing blondes with ample bosoms whose bottom may be padded before sending them on their way, unless they wear niqabs or burqas, in which they are closer to bank robbers or letterboxes.
Goodness gracious.
Letterbox. I hadn't thought of that one, Philo.
You know what that used to mean, don't you?
No.
Way back in the 90s.
Yeah.
To make your television sort of appear that it was widescreen like a
Oh, yeah,
movie
yeah.
theater, they would letterbox it.
Yeah.
All it was they just chopped the top and bottom off, and you were recording black bars, and that was it. They also had another one called Pillar Box.
Yeah, but they look like a black letterbox.
Exactly.
It looks like you walk open and, put your letter in the space where their eyes are looking out. And here we are. Israel bars visits by two outspoken crazy freshmen. You know why? Because even Israel says that, the beanies are okay, but if you got a diaper or a towel on your head, you're not coming into Israel. It's just that simple. And there's the diaper head woman right there. Diaper head and old square mouth. That woman, that Rashida Tlaib, man, I don't know how she does it. Her mouth is like square, Philo. She needs like one of those square coffee mugs you can get online. And, oh, sure.
Did you see the coffee mug for drummers?
No.
It says, being a drummer, you've got it made. You get to bang everything.
I thought they'd have maybe two handles on it so you can keep your both hands busy.
It's great to be a drummer,
And here we are. ICE raids, question, what about employers? Well, that's the thing. And you know what it says here in the article, Philo?
What's that?
That these people, the reason that they don't bust the employers of these illegal slaves and stuff is because there's a clause in the law that says that they have to knowingly hired illegal people.
So if you don't check the papers, you're ignorant.
Oh, yeah, that, and if you're paying them in cash, man, you're busted. That's how they got those other people in Tennessee at the meatpacking plants, because they were paying them in cash. But what other law says that, Philo?
Not that I know of.
Officer, I wasn't knowingly speeding. My eyes were on the road. I wasn't watching my speedometer. Or I didn't knowingly rob the bank. I just brought my gun in for a withdrawal, and, they misconstrued me. I didn't knowingly rob it.
Looking at his Speedo.
Oh, man. Lawyers and experts agree that investigating managers takes longer and is more difficult than arresting workers. A key hurdle that predates Trump goes back to Reagan and the last damn amnesty that jackass had in the 80s. Is that the law makes it a crime to knowingly hire workers who are in the U.S. illegally. The knowingly term has proved to be a huge defense for employers, said Muzaffar Chishti, a senior fellow at the Migration Policy Institute. Muzaffar. Yeah, you remember Chishti, the old Chishti farm up on the hill.
Yeah, I think he was from Scotland, wasn't he?
Yeah. And I remember the kids, Muzaffar and Mujibar. You remember them?
Oh, yeah, a couple Irish guys.
Yeah, the twins.
Yeah.
And, oh, sure. Anyways, Trump's made 2,300 arrests in work sites, 7 times as many as in the previous cases. The major exception was for managers. ICE arrested just 72 managers in 2018 compared with 71 the year before. Congress first created criminal penalties for employers in 1986. Prosecutors under the law banning employers from knowingly employing unauthorized workers have rarely exceeded 15 a year. Sure. Thomas Shaines, president of the Mexican-American Uyghur Defense Fund and Educational Fund, argued that ramping up penalties for employing unauthorized workers was counterproductive. Instead, the U.S. should better enforce workplace safety standards and prevent wage theft. Oh yeah, when you make immigrants afraid of the federal government, then you're protecting employers who exploit. No, they should all be busted. Look, Bunky, try and work in Canada or Mexico or any other country without a work permit. You get arrested and deported muy pronto. To try it in Canada. Oh, here we are. United Airlines alters pilot alcohol policy, Philo.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see. 12 hours now, up from 8, from bottle to throttle. Comes several days after 2 pilots were arrested in Scotland and charged with suspicion of being under the influence before a flight. The old 8-hour limit prohibits pilots from flying with a BAC at or above .04. Okay, then. Sure. Yeah, it's like getting scared enough to get on a damn plane and,
I'll drink to that.
yeah. You get on a damn plane and, and you guys are drunk? What, are you kidding me? I don't think I'm gonna fly anymore, Philo.
Well, better get new wings.
Oh, and here we are. Beat off O'Rourke, takes on Trump, and return to the campaign. This is his fourth campaign restart, dude. I mean, maybe you better get a new battery or something. You have to restart the thing 4 times now? The guy is herky-jerky. He's as spastic as Mitt Romney, man. You talk about drummers tapping, Philo. If you had to tie Beto's hands together, he'd go crazy. He wouldn't last in a pair of handcuffs, dude. O'Rourke takes on Trump. Oh, sure. He says, do you think Trump's a racist? Well, Jesus Christ, of course he is, he says. Oh, sure. Yeah, all those trophies and commendations he got from every black organization on the planet, pay no attention to those. And here we are. Okay. Abuse reporting system grows. Homino domini, all you kiddies, drop of you pants and sit on the lap of father pet and feel ya. Yeah, they are there. Yeah, as soon as I'm done with these rosary beads, I'm going to tuck them up and show you the bead trick, kid. Unbelievable. It's bum blasting, and it's forced sex. It's rape. It's not abuse. Call it what it is. Call it rape. Child rape, man. I'm getting a helmet just like that with the wings, Philo.
Good.
Yeah, I ordered it. It should have been here by now.
People will think you're Mercury.
Yeah, Fleetfoot.
Yeah.
I'll get some for my ankles, too.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, here we are. They're foot dragging. We told you about this. Snap said there's a glaring flaw in the system because when the allegations aren't made public. People are often reluctant to be the first, but will step up when they know someone else has come forward. Alleged victims get a case number and can track their claims. Oh, great, it's like a package you order now. A tracking number, great. That's just great. You bum blastards. Official liberties, words for Europe. Oh, sure. Oh, here we go again with the Statue of Liberty. This one's from Thursday's paper. A top Trump administration said the famous inscription about huddled masses was referring to people coming from Europe, and the nation is looking to receive migrants who can stand on their own 2 feet. Well, yes and yes. I mean, when the statue was built, most of the migration was from Europe. Okay, that's a fact. I'm sorry. And number 2, most Americans don't want to see this country turned into a welfare case for third world flops. You know, no, we don't even want you coming here to work anymore. We're full up, man. Our sewage treatment plants are straining. Our lakes are being choked with algae. We got traffic jams. We've had enough, man. It's got to stop. We got to put on the brakes or it's going to get worse and worse.
We've got enough of our own bums. We don't need yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go to Boylington.
Yeah. Let's see. The comments come from Ken Cuccinelli come a day after the administrator announced it will seek to deny green cards to gimme-grunts who seek Medicaid, food stamps, Section 8, and other forms of public assistance. The move prompted outcry from Democrats and immigration officials who said the policy would favor wealthier immigrants. No, the wealthier immigrants buy their way in with the EB-5 program, as we'd seen from this massive swindle and this hole downtown, right, Philo?
Well, I like the hole better than what was there.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, it was a fire hazard.
True, but
Huge
damn it,
hazard.
They should have required a performance bond.
Yeah. Well, we know about performance around here.
Yeah.
You know, but still.
MMA. Now I could, having free speech and all, I could say that Mama May is like Norman Bates in the movie, Hitchcock's movie Psycho, and he keeps his stuffed mother upstairs in a bedroom, all dehydrated and everything, and keeps a bottle under her chest to breastfeed at night. But, I could say that about Mama May, our breastfed mare, but, ain't he weaned yet? No, I'm not going to say that because it would be rude and intemperate. Yeah, let's see. Advocates wealthier gimme-grunts. Cuccinelli said that the Emma Lazarus poem, "Hoy!" emblazoned on the pedestal referred to people coming from Europe. where they had class-based society and where people were considered wretched if they weren't in the right class. Well, that part's true also. I mean, that's been the truth since people came here from England on the first ships, right, Philo?
Yep.
But those people even brought servants. They had indentured servants where they'd get you out of the poorhouse, they'd buy your debt, in exchange for paying off your debts, you would have to work for them for free for anywhere from 5 to 10 years. But after that 5 to 10 years, man, if you made it, you could strike out on your own and build your own place and get some free land from the Indians.
Or you could come to America and get welfare.
Yeah, wait a couple generations and then just slide under the wire in Mexico.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
well. I digress.
Shots fired at ICE officers. Okay. Yeah, pulled up to a building in San Antone and fired shots through a window. Nobody was injured. Oh, that's great. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. You shoot at a federal facility, man, you're taking a big chance, Skippy. You're looking at a hefty rap, man.
Yeah, and a bunch of people shooting back at you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You think that those places are going to get cameraed up real quick now. And here we are. Court okays asylum limit at parts of the U.S. border. Finally, after 2 years, the courts are coming around to the law, you know, and they're going to get deported faster and sooner now. And like I said, we're full. I'm sorry. I hate to flog a dead horse.
Okay.
Mexico's asylum system is itself overwhelmed, and there are widespread reports of Mexicans being attacked and extorted. Oh, extorted and attacked in Mexico for money? No, say it ain't so, Philo.
Nope.
Border cities and New Mexico and Texas, Juarez, Nuevo Laredo, Reynosa, well known for their violence and gang presence. Oh, the ACLU is going to fight it. I thought they used to be the American Civil Liberties Union.
Not anymore.
Evidently not. Hurricane sees it quiet for now. Well, that's the thing. Hurricane season traditionally starts in what, Philo?
Well, right around the time of baseball season, isn't it?
Exactly, in September.
I'd
And here
rather
we
have
are.
baseball season than hurricane season, wouldn't you?
Yeah. They're gonna make a biogas on this family farm. Now look at the aerial view of this place, Philo. Check it out. See, now right here is a giant pond of liquid crap, okay? And then right here, the place I got circled, those are rows upon rows of little plastic dog houses where they keep baby cows prisoner, and they can't move. They're chained up to like a 5 or 6 foot chain, Philo, and they stuff them full of high protein and sell them for veal. How sick is that, man? How sick are people who eat baby animals, dude? I mean, it's just disgusting. A pond of liquid crap surrounded by tiny dog houses. I couldn't even count them all here. Dog houses with babies in them to eat. I'm not even going there. You people are sick. Sick. Oh, we got a TV shooting a pilot in Burlington, Philo.
What's the name of the pilot?
Let's see. Zodiac.
Aha, I think I know the guy.
Yeah, he's a rubber boat with pontoons, right?
Exactly, yeah.
It was Friday, September 2nd. Me and Jacques were in the Zodiac, looking for the great white whale. The filming for Zodiac began last week, continued through the rest of this week. The pilot follows 2 young women. One of the girls, who was bullied, lives at a boarding school, wakes up one day, discovers she has a psychic link to an unconscious and unidentified girl in a nearby rural field. Now, why is an unconscious girl laying in a field, Philo?
Well, it's something to do with the corn, I think.
Yeah, the corn children.
Yeah, children of the corn.
Then the girl at the boarding school has a Gemini zodiac sign appear suddenly on her arm.
Ooh, Jim and I.
Yeah. We find out at the end of the pilot that the Greek gods are involved. The premise of the show is Hades trying to get the world back and collect these girls of the zodiac, and the all-girls school becomes the background for the show. Okay. Well, good to see him filming locally. And look at this. People This woman died in like 1948, Philo, and people are still going to her tiny little house in Ohio hoping for miracles. And they want to sit in the chair that she said Jesus sat in. Now, why would Jesus need a chair to sit down, dude?
I didn't think he did.
I thought he'd stand up, exactly. Miracle House in Ohio draws pilgrim amid sainthood push. Push. Ooh, Catholic. Push. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Cure bleeding marks started the flow of the faithful in 1939. Late in the summer in Canton, Ohio, 1939, crowds of strangers starting up at Rhoda Wise's house next to a city dump after she let it be known that miracles were occurring in her room. 80 years later, people still make the pilgrimage. And last fall, the Radolic Diocese petitioned the Vatican to make her a saint, renewing interest in her former home. The story starts with a sickly Wise who lived with an alky husband and a young daughter, claiming she was healed of a terminal illness and visited by Jesus Christ as she suffered in her bed. When word got out, people began arriving at all hours seeking spiritual guidance and asking that the wooden chair where Jesus sat to see the chair. They stood in lines around the block to file past her bed when she appeared to suffer stigmata, bloody wounds on her head, hands, and feet like those Jesus suffered on the cross, until she implored the church to take her off display. What?
You know what was happening, don't you? She was listening to Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah. He cuts them in the head and the... Actually, they didn't crucify people by pounding a nail through their hands. Your body can't hang if you pound it there. The only way you can hang a body is by nailing them through the wrist. You need to try it sometime.
Yeah, really. We have some 9-inch nails you can try.
Yeah, spikes.
Yeah. By the way, that's a pretty good rock band, by the way. 9-inch Nails.
Yeah, they stood in lines. But anyway, this is weird. She implored the church to take her off display. So she had a deal worked out with the church where she was on display, Philo?
Now, this is interesting.
Weird. Newspapers and national magazines sent reporters to write about her miracle house. With parades of pilgrims slowed after her death, but never stopped. Her house, in a good-sized parking lot, remained an under-the-radar destination for the faithful and the curious. Oh, God. Catholic shrines. You gotta be kidding me. Man, oh, man. Oh, we got a black hole seen snuffing out a neutron star, Philo.
Yeah, remember, I read that on Yahoo News. That's it. Now, that's, this scientific stuff tends to be a bit too scientific for the Bible.
And then you sent me that article about the center of our galaxy, Sagittarius A, had glowed for a few days or something.
Yes.
It lit up like a damn Christmas tree and then diminished for some strange reason. Because at the center of most galaxies is or are black holes.
More than likely.
More wild news from outer space. For the first time, science has detected a black hole devouring a neutron star. 900 million years ago, this black hole ate a very dense star, like Pac-Man, snuffing it out instantly. Neutron stars are small yet incredibly dense stellar objects. The collapsed remains of imploded stars. Black holes are also collapsed stars with gravity so strong that even light can't escape their grasp. Scientists earlier this year captured the first ever photo of a black hole. They said they didn't even exist up until recently. It was just a theory.
Remember that woman scientist who helped build whatever it was to take the pictures of it? And now they don't even want to give her credit for it?
Yeah, the microwave camera thing or something, right?
Yeah, she was part of that. Now they don't even want to give her credit for it.
Oh, why would they do that? The current discovery was made using gravitational wave discovery machines in the U.S. and Italy.
No, pizza.
Philo claims to be Italian, but I say it's not true. If you were Italian, you would have a garden, dude.
I do. The wife has it.
The U.S. and Italy, which detected ripples in space and time from the cataclysmic event that happened about 8,550 million trillion kilometers away from the Earth. Now, wait a minute. Why don't they just use light years like everybody else?
Well, it sounds more spectacular this way.
remember, what was it on Star Trek? They had parsecs or something?
Yeah, and what was the other thing they had, for memory modules, they had gigaquads?
The final results are expected to be published in an upcoming journals. Well, we'll look for that. And here we are. Big migrant groups arrested less along the Arizona border. Well, duh, to anyone who's ever been in a desert, ever in the northern hemisphere, knows that you don't go into the desert from May until October unless you're crazy, okay? Because it's so damn hot. You think, I mean, these people are dumb, but they're not stupid, man. May had the highest number of apprehensions at 20,000. July had the lowest. Well, you think? Unbelievable. The phenomenon of large groups, defined as groups of more than 100, is not new. Well, it's fairly new. There's all difficulty. Places defined temporarily hold large numbers of immigrants, especially like areas like Yuma, which are already experiencing overcrowding. Border Patrol does not publish the numbers of large groups in the same way it regularly tracks others. But we had over 180 large groups this year. Over 180, which are 100 counted as 100 or more. 180 times 100, that's what, 18,000, Philo?
Something like that, yep.
Yeah, okay then. Yeah. Since June, CBP has issued a new rule counting additional 8 groups larger than 100 immigrants, mostly along the border and remote deserts of New Mexico.
Okay, last but not least.
Oh, good grief, man. Has an hour really gone by?
Yeah, you're up to 57 minutes.
Oh, man.
And you got your intro and your outro to put in, so time to wrap up.
All right. Well, I know it's not happening now, but one of these days, oh, here it is, right here, very quickly. This is what I complained to that tranny about, right there. How to make sandwiches. This is an article in a major newspaper in the biggest city in the state. Yeah, right. Deconstructing the fine art of sandwich making. And last but not least, I know it's not going to happen now in this, believe me, I've had to deal with this dickwipe, Stephen Wise, the animal rights guy. But sooner or later, they went to court on behalf of these elephants down in Connecticut at a petting zoo. And they're being mistreated. And sooner or later, they're going to have to realize that animals, maybe they do have a soul. They're more intelligent than anyone gives them credit for, and they shouldn't be mistreated, and we should let them live free. Anyways, once again, you wasted a perfect hour of your life watching this stupid show, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. Until then, inshallah, good Lord willing. Until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men only mosque, sniff the bum of the guy in back of you, and head knees go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Thank you and good night.